Welcome to the 2022 Copenhagen Half Marathon, which is one of the fastest courses in the world. In the men's elite field, which included more than 10 men under the 1 hour mark, will end up rewriting the history books. On the women's side, they were gunning for the course record that took place the year before. Make sure to stick around and watch the full highlights of this event so you can see how it turned out. In the Copenhagen Half Marathon, you will see that both the elite men and women start at the same time, followed by the 25,000 other runners that are participating in the race. Unlike any other event, which include elite fields that are separated, with the women usually going first with a head start, followed by the men's field sometime after, this race lets everyone start at the same time. Race underway, and for more than a mile, the men's race had a pacer who was running in front by himself, and it seemed like no one was looking to go with him. On the flip side, the elite women get to run alongside men who are running the same pace as them and get multiple different paces in a sense. Almost all the men in the elite field are all bunched running as a big pack. One pacer was also setting the pace for the elite women, and he would be followed by the leading women and a group of men looking to stick to a similar pace. For the men's first 5K, they go through just around 14 minutes, which is slightly above the course record pace. The women would cross more than a minute later, with the time clocking a split of 15 minutes and 19 seconds, with 5 women in the lead pack. In this 8th edition of the Copenhagen Half Marathon, one of the athletics elite labeled road races, more than 25,000 runners from various parts of the world ran through the streets of Copenhagen. The weather for this year's event was characterized as dark clouds, cool temperatures, and slight rain. If you have ever run a half marathon, these conditions sound pretty good. The course record for this event took place in 2019. Jeffrey Kamora lit up the course with an incredible performance that would break the world record by 22 seconds. Shortly after the 10K mark, he was on his own and he continued to push the pace that was inside world record pace. Kamora covered the final 11 kilometers without company and even the heavy rainfall that occurred at the 37-minute mark. His overall pace for this race would be 4:25 per mile or 2:45 per kilometer. His winning time of 58:01 would break a world record that stood for more than 9 years. Let's get back to the action, where 2 women passed the 10K mark in a time of 30 minutes and 40 seconds, a time inside both of the 10K personal bests. While on the men's side, the pace dropped back slightly and the split would be 28:10 for the 10 kilometers. But this would change quickly as the race was closing in on the halfway point and all the men would pick up the pace. Sagi Grabasalama decided that it was time for her to make a move and drops Tadu Teshome. With the pacer in front and multiple guys from the race holding on to the same pace, Grabasalama was on pace to go under 1 hour and 5 minutes. If she is able to hang on, then that would be inside the course record time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 8 seconds. As the pace would continue to increase in the men's race, a few runners start to fall off the lead pack one by one. A pack of about 10 men who were all still in contention of making a move to run away with the race will pass the 15-kilometer mark in a time of 42:06. This would be the fastest 5K split of the race, with them going 14:02 for the first split, 14:08 in the second one, and 13:57 for the third one. With the pace now under 14 minutes per 5K, the race was still up for grabs. Grabasalama opened up a gap of 30 seconds by 15 kilometers, crossing in 46:39. The third 5K split was actually 10 seconds slower than the previous 2. Deshome slowed herself back, but that would prove to be a good decision for the last quarter of the race. The men's lead group continued to lose one runner after another, but still 6 strong in the front, all competing for the win. As they close in on the final mile of this race, Melkissa Mengesha makes a big surge. It happened so fast that within a couple of seconds of making this move, he made a gap between him and the chase pack. Mengesha would pass the 20-kilometer mark in 55:59, making the fourth 5K split the fastest one of the race in 13:54. The guys behind him just had no response to his burst of speed, but they all continued to fight. A line of men could be seen behind Mengesha, and this meant a lot of people were going to go under the 1 hour mark. Melkissa Mengesha made a precise move, and it paid off for him, as he would go on to win the 2022 Copenhagen Half Marathon in a time of 58:58, the only man to go sub 59. The historical part of this race would come from the 14 men that would follow Mengesha to run under 1 hour. This would end up being the most men to ever go under 1 hour all in the same race. The previous record stood at 11. We go back to the women's race where Garba Salama was still leading, but Teshome was closing the gap quickly. Teshome takes the lead right before the 20-kilometer mark. The quick pace set in the first half of the race came back to haunt Garba Salama as she couldn't continue with that pace. Teshome would not give up her lead and get to the line first in a time of 1 hour 6 minutes and 13 seconds. Garba Salama would cross 22 seconds later. If you enjoyed this recap of the 2022 Copenhagen Half Marathon, make sure to give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.